The holidays are over. The festive lights that once adorned our streets and homes are now packed away in boxes, leaving behind a sense of emptiness. The vibrant colors and joyful sounds that filled the air have faded, replaced by the stark, cold reality of winter. The decorations are put away. The streets that were once bustling with holiday cheer now seem deserted. The excitement and anticipation that built up over the past few weeks have dissipated, leaving a void that is hard to ignore. It's back to the usual. The daily grind resumes, and the routine that was momentarily disrupted by the holidays is now back in full swing. Commuters bundle up against the cold, their faces reflecting the monotony of the season. January comes, and it feels different. The days feel long. You're tired. The excitement of the holidays has worn off, and the reality of the long winter months ahead sets in. The cold seeps into your bones, and the grey skies seem to stretch on forever. This is the January slump, and lots of people feel it. It's a time when motivation is low, and the energy that carried you through the holiday season is nowhere to be found. Friends and family who were once full of cheer now seem just as weary as you. Imagine this: you wake up, it's dark. The alarm clock blares, pulling you from the warmth of your bed into the cold, unforgiving morning. The sun hasn't risen yet, and it feels like the night is still clinging to the world outside. Your alarm went off way too early. You groggily reach for the snooze button, wishing for just a few more minutes of sleep. But the day awaits, and you have no choice but to face it. The fun of the holidays feels like a long time ago. The laughter, the gatherings, the sense of togetherness, all of it seems like a distant memory. The streets that were once filled with joy now feel eerily quiet. Work or school is waiting. The responsibilities that were put on hold during the holidays are now back in full force. The deadlines, the meetings, the classes, they all demand your attention, leaving little room for the joy you once felt. Going from parties and presents back to normal is hard. It's a big change. The transition from the festive season to the mundane reality of everyday life is jarring. The contrast is stark, and it takes time to adjust. The days are short and feel even longer. The sun sets early, casting long shadows that make the afternoons feel like evenings. The lack of daylight affects your mood, making the days drag on endlessly. It's not just in your head. The feelings of fatigue and melancholy are real. The winter months can take a toll on your mental and physical health, and it's important to acknowledge that. There are real reasons why you feel this way. The lack of sunlight, the cold temperatures, and the post-holiday letdown all contribute to the January slump. It's a common experience, and you're not alone in feeling this way. This picture shows how January feels for lots of people. Cold, dark, and quiet. The world seems to be in a state of hibernation, waiting for the warmth and light of spring to return. The happy times are gone, and it's like the world is waiting for spring. But remember, this too shall pass. The days will gradually get longer, and the warmth will return. Until then, take care of yourself and find small moments of joy in the midst of the winter gloom. One reason January feels slow is boredom. December was exciting. The holiday season is filled with celebrations, gatherings, and a sense of anticipation. We have Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and New Year's Eve all packed into a few short weeks. The lights, the music, the parties, they all create a whirlwind of activity that keeps us engaged and entertained. It's a time when our schedules are full, and there's always something to look forward to. The excitement is palpable, and it makes the days fly by in a blur of joy and festivity. Now, work or school feels boring. After the high energy and constant stimulation of December, January can feel like a stark contrast. The decorations come down, the festive music stops, and the parties are over. We're back to our regular routines, and the monotony can be jarring. The return to work or school means early mornings, deadlines, and responsibilities. The excitement of the holidays is replaced with the everyday grind, and it can feel like a letdown. The days seem to stretch on, and the lack of excitement makes time drag. When we're busy and having fun, time flies. Think about the last time you were at a party or on vacation. The hours seemed to disappear, and before you knew it, the day was over. Our brains are wired to perceive time differently when we're engaged in enjoyable activities. The more fun we're having, the faster time seems to pass. It's a phenomenon that psychologists call time flies when you're having fun. Our minds are so occupied with the excitement and enjoyment that we lose track of time. When we're bored, time goes slow. On the flip side, When we're bored or not engaged, time seems to crawl. Think about sitting in a waiting room or being stuck in traffic. Every minute feels like an eternity. Our brains are not stimulated, and we become acutely aware of the passage of time. This is why January, with its lack of excitement and routine activities, can feel like the longest month of the year. The days drag on, and we find ourselves constantly checking the clock, wondering when it will be over. Our brains understand time based on what we do. The way we perceive time is heavily influenced by our activities and level of engagement. When we're focused and interested in what we're doing, time seems to move quickly. Conversely, when we're disengaged or uninterested, time appears to slow down. This is why it's important to find ways to stay engaged and active, even during the quieter months like January. By filling our days with activities that interest us, we can make the time pass more quickly and enjoyably. New things and fun times make time feel full. Exploring new places, trying new activities, and spending time with loved ones can make our days feel richer and more fulfilling. These experiences create lasting memories and give us something to look forward to. Even in January, we can find ways to inject excitement and novelty into our lives. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, planning a weekend getaway, or simply spending quality time with friends and family, these activities can help break the monotony and make the month feel less dragging. January doesn't have much of that, so it feels empty. The starkness of winter, with its bare trees and quiet streets, can add to the feeling of emptiness. The festive decorations are gone, and the vibrant energy of the holidays has faded. The cold weather can also keep us indoors, limiting our activities and social interactions. This combination of factors can make January feel particularly long and uneventful. However, by finding ways to stay active and engaged, we can combat the winter blues and make the most of this quieter time of year. We remember December because lots happened. January? Not so much. The contrast between the bustling activity of December and the quiet stillness of January is stark. December is filled with memorable moments, from holiday parties to family gatherings, and these memories stay with us. In contrast, January often lacks these standout events, making it feel less memorable. This difference in activity levels and memorable experiences contributes to the perception that January drags on. By creating new memories and finding ways to stay engaged, we can make January feel more dynamic and enjoyable. It's like watching a boring movie. It feels longer than a movie with lots of action. Think of an hourglass. When we're not engaged, time seems to stretch out endlessly. Watching a dull movie or sitting through a boring lecture can make an hour feel like a lifetime. This is because our brains are not stimulated, and we become hyper-aware of the passage of time. In contrast, an action-packed movie or an engaging activity can make the same amount of time feel much shorter. The key is to find ways to stay engaged and interested, even during the quieter times. When you're bored, it's like watching each grain of sand fall, slow. The sensation of time dragging is similar to watching an hourglass, where each grain of sand seems to take forever to fall. This is why it's important to find ways to stay engaged and active, even during the quieter months like January. By filling our days with activities that interest us, we can make the time pass more quickly and enjoyably. So let's embrace the new year with a sense of curiosity and adventure, and make the most of every moment, no matter how quiet it may seem. It's not just how you feel. The weather matters too. The environment around us, especially during the winter months, can have a profound impact on our mood, energy levels, and overall well-being. When the days are short and the nights are long, it can feel like the darkness is never ending. This lack of sunlight can lead to a range of emotional and physical challenges that many people face every year. January is dark in lots of places. The overcast skies and persistent snow can create a sense of gloom that permeates our daily lives. It's not just the visual aspect of the environment that affects us. The cold temperatures can also play a significant role. When it's freezing outside, our bodies have to work harder to stay warm, which can drain our energy and make us feel more fatigued. Short days, not much sun. The limited daylight hours mean that many of us go to work in the dark and come home in the dark, leaving little time to enjoy any natural light. This can disrupt our circadian rhythms, the internal clock that regulates our sleep-wake cycle, making it harder to get a good night's sleep and feel rested during the day. This messes with our sleep, how we feel, and how much energy we have. When our sleep is disrupted, it can lead to a cascade of other issues, including irritability, difficulty concentrating, and a general sense of malaise. The lack of sunlight also means that our bodies produce less serotonin, a neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood and promote feelings of happiness and well-being. Sunlight helps our bodies make serotonin. Serotonin makes us happy. Less sunlight, less happy. This reduction in serotonin can contribute to feelings of sadness and depression, often referred to as the winter blues or seasonal affective disorder, SAD. It's a real and tangible effect that the environment has on our mental health. This is sometimes called the winter blues. The winter blues can make it difficult to find motivation and joy in activities that we usually enjoy. The cold and dreary weather can make it tempting to stay indoors and avoid social interactions, which can further exacerbate feelings of isolation and loneliness. It makes January feel even longer. The combination of limited daylight, cold temperatures, and the post-holiday slump can make January feel like it drags on forever. Each day can feel like a struggle to get through, and the lack of excitement or change can make time seem to slow down. Plus, being cold makes us want to stay inside. When it's cold outside, it's natural to want to seek warmth and comfort indoors. However, this can lead to a more sedentary lifestyle, which can have negative effects on our physical health, such as weight gain and decreased fitness levels. Less sun, less doing stuff. The lack of sunlight and cold weather can also limit our opportunities for outdoor activities and exercise, which are important for maintaining both physical and mental health. This reduction in activity can contribute to feelings of lethargy and a lack of motivation. This makes us feel slow and makes time feel slow too. The combination of all these factors can create a sense of sluggishness and a perception that time is moving more slowly. It can be challenging to find the energy and enthusiasm to engage in daily tasks and responsibilities. This picture shows how lots of people feel in January, stuck inside and tired. The feeling of being cooped up indoors combined with the lack of sunlight and cold weather can create a sense of cabin fever. It's important to find ways to stay active and engaged, even when the weather is less than ideal. No sun and cold weather makes us want to hibernate like a bear. Just like bears hibernate to conserve energy during the winter, we may find ourselves wanting to sleep more and do less. While it's important to listen to our bodies and get enough rest, it's also crucial to find a balance and stay connected with others to combat the winter blues. Everyone feels this way about January. We talk about it, make jokes about it, and post about it online. This makes us feel like we're not alone. After the holidays, everyone feels a bit down. The fun is over, back to normal, no more parties. This makes January feel longer. Also, New Year's resolutions. Trying to change things can be hard. If we don't do what we planned, it makes us feel bad. Social media makes it worse. Everyone is talking about how hard January is. Here's another thing. Money. Presents and parties are expensive. January is when the credit card bills come. This can make us feel stressed. It's hard to have fun when you're worried about money. This makes January feel even longer. New Year's resolutions can also make us feel bad. We make big plans, but it's hard to do them. This picture shows how stressful January can be. The red circle shows that January is when we have to pay for everything. The bills and to-do list show how much we have to do. It's not just you. Scientists agree. How we understand time isn't always the same. It depends on how we feel, the weather, and what our brains are doing. Dr. David Eagleman, a brain scientist, says our brains remember exciting things really well. Boring things, not so much. This is why January feels long. Not much exciting stuff happens. This picture shows how different parts of our brain work together to understand time. The third Monday in January is called Blue Monday. Some people say it's the saddest day of the year. It's not really true, but lots of people feel sad in January. Why? No more holidays, money problems, cold weather, and those resolutions we're not doing. Also, everyone tells us we need to change in the new year. This makes us feel bad about ourselves. This picture shows how Blue Monday feels, gloomy and hard. January is hard, but it's also good. It's quiet after the busy holidays. It's time to rest. Think of January as a fresh start. You can try new things or just relax. No parties means more time for you. You can get more sleep, eat good food, and do things you enjoy. This picture shows how relaxing January can be. It's a time to take care of yourself. Don't think of January as a bad month. Think of it as a new beginning. It's a new year. You can make new plans. Don't try to change everything at once. Start small. Try one new healthy thing, learn something new, or just do more of what you love. How we understand time depends on us. If we think about the good parts of January, it won't feel so bad. This picture shows how hopeful January can be. It's a fresh start, like a sunrise.